Hi everyone, you're watching JFX, and today we are going to talk about recovery system which is built into the EA JFX-LineTrader Pro. So we'll do some examples on how some settings are working there, but first I want to tell you a little bit what kind of system is built in there. So let's say you know that my strategy is the breakout from the flats or the patterns, right? So let's say we have a little bit of flat right here, and we are looking to place the orders. Let's say the first we had a bit of consolidation, right, and we decided to sell a little bit below right here and expecting the market to continue the way down. So let's say we sold, and then suddenly the market turns around, and what we would do, and the strategy, that when it comes out from our consolidation, we would have a buy order here, right? So and the stop. So when you buy here, it hits the stop. When you sell here, it hits the stop here, then it will buy with a little bit increased lot size, and to cover that loss, and we'll usually want to make a little bit profit. So we're expecting, let's say, from here the market to continue way up, right? So what happens in here, you see, for example, the market went up a little bit, then it's turned around once again and go back in the same area where it was a previous order and hits the stop again. So let's say we already had two losses, and from here we will be selling again, expecting the possible market will continue the way down then. And then you see the market turns around, hits, for example, our again loss, stop loss, and get us into another buy order. And then you see the market actually eventually make this good move where it covers all the losses we made here and makes us a small profit we originally wanted to make. Well, depends what the profit we wanted to make, okay? So usually I go for the small ones. And so that's the basic of the recovery system. When you are noticed on the markets everywhere where it has consolidations, there is always will be a good move, okay? So that's what you see here. We had consolidations and then a move. We have consolidations and then we have move, and well, that's the end of the movement. Okay, let's see here again, you have consolidation, so you might get one or another trade, and then finally you have a good move. So that's pretty much it. From any consolidations, there is always market. It might consolidate long time. It's a 4-hour chart, it's a big one, so it might consolidate, but eventually it comes out from it, right? So that's the basics of how you would recover. It's pretty much the same that I'm using for breakout to get into the profit. So that's the possibility. So another way of also cover your losses is, maybe you know, so that's the point is in here when we have let's go back into this area, when we have going up and down, so we're hoping that the move will go, and we're increasing a little bit lot size. You maybe know, like it's a column is something like a martingale. So what we do have now is a built-in in EA is that when it's actually trying to recover, you can bank a little bit of profit. So that means that next time when you open your lot size, so it will be a bit of smaller than it might be if you just want to reach the target. And so usually, like, let's see, when you're doing something like this, you'll be doing manually. So you either increase your lot size, or you open the next trade and expecting a bigger move to cover the loss and possibly make a bit of a profit, right? So but when you increase a little bit of lot size, then you don't need a much bigger move. You can have a smaller movement. So that's what actually EA calculates for you. You don't need to think yourself what the lot size has to be, how big the distance. You can decide what the distance, and then EA will calculate what the lot size it needs to have. So another way is more like a martingale, is like, let's say you think the market will move so much and then turns around, right? So for example, let's do here bigger move. So we will talk about the dangers of that. So when, let's say, you got into this bad trade, right? If, for example, you sold here and then market runs away from you, but you think, okay, when it goes to the next level or whatever, let's say 100 pips, you think 100 pips it moves, it turned around, so you would sell again, right? But let's say it didn't move enough, you wanted, it continues again, and then you sell again, and then it continues and you sell again, and then continues and then you sell again, until finally not bad move happens. I mean, it's not still again not very big. Usually you would, from here, you would hope that we'll be moving somewhere around here, a bit more like a deeper return, right? So that's what you will be martingaling. So every time it goes, you sell, you sell, you sell, and increasing the lot size. And again, you will calculate yourself that if you go, you increase the lot size, then it goes a bit down, then you can close possibly that losing trade and the profitable one. So you still take a loss and you make a little bit profit. So that's the strategy of kind of martingaling. And so here in the EA, you also can set up, instead of where we were, if it reach opposite move, you would buy, right? And then of course when it moves, you come out with profit. So you can do with the EA the same. When it reaches, let's say 100 pips or whatever next level, it closes this loss and it opens a new trade the same direction, and then it needs to move wherever you decide, maybe another 100 pips to get out from the trade with the profit and cover the loss. And then exactly the same when it goes next 100 pips, let's say if it didn't get you out, you continue and continue. So pretty much the same system, but it just takes the losses and then opens a new lot size, new order. So you see, that's what the two systems built in this recovery. And on the way, of course, you can regulate by using those arrows, and if you think it will reach one of the levels, you can change the direction yourself. So, but if automatically, the EA will do it for you. So let's go and see the recovery settings. I hope you understand the principle of the recovery. So that's the number 3 section, and then that's your settings. So the first one, recovery objective, is that you can choose if you want to make that profit or you won't just go for no loss. So the EA will only cover the loss and will not go for profit. So that setting is if you go for profit and you made the loss, so first of all, it will definitely go for recover the loss, and also it will try to make you profit wherever it would be here. So this is the, let's say, 120 points, and you have a lot size 0.02, so it will be making not, don't look at the trade mode, it will not look at the half, it will be exactly looking at the full amount. So then you would have to calculate 0.02 times whatever take profit will be here. So you see, for example, I go for profit because it's a very small take profit and very small lot size I chose. The bigger lot size you choose, the bigger take profit will be here, the bigger next recovery lot will be open. So if you don't want to keep it lower, then you need to keep this lot size and take profit lower. So, or you could just go for no loss, and then you can put here wherever take profit. Maybe your take profit would be 500 points, right? So then it will not look for the that big take profit. It will just try to cover the loss. And then of course you manually, like if you keep an eye on it, you manually can move a little bit take profit if you would see the market goes your direction and you want to make a little profit, so you can change it yourself. But that's the how no loss and profit will work. Okay, so always see how big you take profit and what is the lot size. So next, recovery order size limit. So that's how big you want the lot size to grow. If you don't want to go with bigger than one lot, depends how big you count, then it will be trying, if it will have like unsuccessful attempt, one attempt, another attempt, and then when it might not even reach one lot but will be slightly below, but next attempt needs to open one lot, it will not do it, it will terminate the sequence, and that's it. You will end up with a loss. So that's one you can change wherever. If you want, like let's say only go for like no bigger than 0.10, it would also will only end up with a loss. So but that's how you regulate the the money management. Okay, so how big your account and how much you want the lot size to be increased before you think that would be enough. Because sometimes, yes, it can have so many attempts. You need to be very careful with the recovery system and keep an eye on it, because yes, the lot size can grow. Like I'm saying, it's like a bit of martingale, and you know the dangers of martingale. So except here we're a little bit averaging and banking a little bit profit, so that's why the lot size doesn't increase as much. But if you don't have the opportunity to bank a little bit of profits, then lot size can just continue growing. So recovery attempts, you see I have here 100 because every time you will be banking the profits of the recovery, you need more attempts, more and more. So, but you can also say you only want 1 or 2 attempts if you're not going to touch it at all. But I still would regulate the beta with the lot size and recovery attempts just to leave as big, because then you would might exceed the limits of the attempts, like when you're closing with small profits, and then it will not go for the next attempt. So recovery factor is, you can see here, it explains to you, it's the take profit. So let's say it's just not in points. Let's say you wanted $2 to make, right? And so then it will be, you see, doing, let's say, so you have here, and let's say it wants $2 to make, then you times 0.03, and so it makes $2.06, for example, right? So that's what would be, and every time it will go for next attempt, it will be adding this 0. So like next time, for example, you now need to make $2.06. Next time again it will increase by 0.03. So then it's going to be, you next time you need already to make $2. So what we had, 0.2, 0.6 plus another 0.6. So next time it would be 212. So that's how it's going to be increase with every attempt. And so you don't keep it very big, because if you put much bigger number in here, for example, if you put 1, then it's not going to be $2 making. It will be actually 2 and a 2, so it will be $4 it would want make next time. And with every attempt it will be adding again $2 and $2 on top of it. So then it's going to have a very, very big lot size opening. So that's why I keep it as low as possible. If you want a little bit of increase on profit, like with those few cents, if you don't want it at all, to just leave it as 0. So if you don't want the lot size to grow. So that's a little bit of the recovery factor. Take profit is 600 points. It's just a standard here, but you can change it, right? You can, for different pairs you need to change it, because the different pairs move a bit more. For example, like gold moves a lot, so there is like 900 points I have. So that's just how many points it needs to move to get you out from the losing trade. Take profit optimization, so maximize profit or minimize distance. I prefer to use minimize distance, because that way you will have minimum distance as possible to get out from the recovery. If you maximize profit, it will be trying to keep the distance and try to get you out with the profit. Okay, so that way you can get more attempts, which we don't really want to. That's why I prefer to use minimize distance. Okay, recovery stop loss is also you can change wherever you want. You think, like you saw me, I can sometimes, when I see it might be a bit too close to one of the null levels, I can move it. But okay, let's say default to 500. I wouldn't touch the next settings at all. And the trail, that's where you will be banking a little bit of profits when recovery continues, right? So you can choose smaller, you can choose bigger. So we put a little bit this default settings in it just as it is, and also trailing stop you want, and the step, it's all can be changed. Pretty much this you would see, like I'm saying, maybe to do back test and see which one's better. But usually I prefer to watch and close it manually with a little bit of profit banking myself, because that way the distance of the take profit reduces. Depends on the settings. You see, that's the other important settings. So let's say continue recovery or cease recovery. I prefer now cease recovery usually to choose setting. Even in default to have continue. That means when it touches your take profit, sometimes there are swaps or sleep, the price can sleep, right? The EA will open a new recovery to try to get you that profit. Okay, so if you think, let's say, okay, it doesn't matter, it doesn't get the swaps, it slipped a little bit, but you still covered the loss pretty much and have a little bit of profit. So that's why I prefer just, okay, when it's finished, it touches take profit, that's it, just cease, finish recovery. So I prefer the cease recovery now. So now stop loss, if it touches then reverse direction, you can change it to maintain direction, just as what I was explaining to you in that example. For example, in here, let's say you bought here, you sold here, right? And then it turns around. In here, when it hits your stop, it will buy. So it will open the opposite order. If you put maintain direction, so let's say it's sold here, and then it moves, instead of buy, it will sell again, and then moves and sell again, and moves and sell again, okay? So that's the if you want to maintain a direction. So at this moment, I still prefer, like I'm saying, you see on the different pairs and different situation, you can see where you prefer bigger stop, but maybe maintain a direction, or smaller stop like I prefer, and then change the direction. So if it's sold here, it will buy. If it's like go back, sell again, it will go and buy again. So when it's in this consolidation, I prefer buy and sell, buy and sell. But when it gets into a side, then it's maybe better to change sometimes into maintain direction. But that you can do manually using these arrows. So that's why originally I'm using this reverse direction. Recovery action after stop loss with profit, you can also choose maintain or reverse. I keep maintain because, again, when it moves up and up and up and banks a little bit of profit, it will open exactly the same order and continue recover. Open a new order again, bank a bit profit and continue the same direction, right? If you choose reverse, when you bank a little bit of profit, it will open the opposite direction order. So when we're in the process and possible expecting a continue to our take profit, you don't probably want change directions. You only want to change direction if you think it's going to reverse really. And then, like I'm saying, you also can do it manually. So, but that's the settings you can change if you prefer. And important recovery setting after stop loss with profit. So that's when you're banking, right? So when you move, let's say you want to recover, when it's moved a little bit, you banked a little bit, it opens a new order with exactly the same lot size as it was original. That's the maintain, if you will maintain the lot size, but it will decrease the take profit level. So then you need less to continue to get out of the profit. If you will change it to reduce size, it's quite nice one, because if you banked a little bit of profit, the next open lot size will be reduced, and but the take profit will be exactly the same as we're going to put, let's say it's a 600 points, then it will be open exactly the same distance, guys. So it's not going to reduce the distance, because you pretty much understand the smaller lot size, it needs again to continue to close you with no loss and make you real profit, you see. So that's why there are pluses and minuses of those settings. I prefer to leave maintain size. To be honest, reduce size quite works better on very volatile pairs, for example, like gold. You might have, for gold, if it has too many attempts, then maybe next time you want to reduce size and then have a very big move, then it's okay. But on the other pairs, I think the maintain this settings works a bit better. So let's just see now of those examples as we did on the backtester, right? So let's say we have here, well, the situation close half, I have take profit, let's say stop loss we're going to reduce so it would be faster, and let's say I will make here 180 points, and we have here leaving minimize distance, take profit will do also 600, stop loss slightly less, the same, you see guys, the bigger stop loss, smaller take profit, also the recovery size will increase. So the bigger take profit and smaller stop loss, then the next lot size will be smaller. So that's why you need to really play on them and see all of those settings. We're going to leave this one as 200, and let's say the step, well, let's say it's a euro, let's say step is 50, here is only 100, and we're going to have reverse direction, maintain after it trails, and maintain size, and we're going to have seize recovery, and we're going for profit here, okay? and I'm going to remove this. We will do it manually. Okay, and here. So let's say we sell. Okay, we press the sell, and now I'm going to slow down and stop it. So here's our recovery started. As you can see, guys. So let's just see, move a little bit. So our original take profit, 600 points, the stop loss 500, and you can see the lot size increased. It's not 0.03 now. So we're going to let it run and see what is, you see here. For example, I will not do anything now. I'm going to stop. You can see the trailing stop moved. Okay, guys, so that's what happens. The trailing stop moved. So now if it will hit it, it will bank us a little bit of profit. And I'm going to leave it. You see, I'm not touching it myself. Okay, you just saw it banked a little bit. So now I can show you, for example, results in here. So we lost $8. Now it made a little bit back. So it made $450. And you see it moved the level of take profit down. You see, now it's only 370 points it needs to make to close. What do we have? We have now we have smaller loss. You see, it only says now we have only 347, but we have a target. That's our take profit. You see how big it is? It's $7.63. That's what that setting is does, right? So let's continue our recovery. And you see, once again, we can watch here and manually try to close a little bit with the profit, or we just can sit and wait if it will reach it itself. So now just like you see, it's a bit of a waiting time. Okay, guys, so watch out. You see, it's touched the stop again, and it's opened a new recovery. You see the lot size increased again, not 0.05. So now it's going to try to continue. Okay, so and once again, well, let's say we don't know where it's going to go, and we're just leaving it to run on its own. You see, now you can get a little bit of profit to bank again. You see, it's not moving enough like to those 200 points we want, and so we can manually to see when it's going to get a little bit profit, we can close it. But let's say, okay, it's going in another attempt, and you pretty much could move your stop, for example, but usually you don't know, right, where it's going to go. So, and that's why you would just leave it running by itself and try to recover itself. So that's the point. You don't really want to be watching it all the time, but if you want to, you can do so. So and just keep an eye on it from time to time. Okay, guys, so watch out. It hit our other loss stop. You see, in the lot size how big it is. It's not 0.09, and but it still has a bit smaller take profit. So you see, we are here, and you can manually, let's say, little bit re-enter it. Okay, let's say you wanted to do yourself. Now we have take profit is closer, the lot size is exactly the same, but we just banked a little bit of profit ourselves manually. Okay, so like I'm saying, you can either let it run by trailing, but if you think it's went a little bit, you want, you know, okay, now it does itself again, it's touched it, banked a bit, opened exactly the same buy order with 0.09, and moved the take profit is a bit closer, and you can watch here that we only have $23 to cover, but it still wants to make $8.50. You see that 0.03 add-ons, and add-ons, so it's quite a big number. So that's why, for example, manually you can decide, and you want to move your take profit well, a little bit closer. For example, if you think you don't want to go for that, it's a little bit too much maybe, and you think maybe pair moved a little bit too far already, and you don't want to risk it, so you can pretty much do so and just like turn it off manually, close it manually. So you see now we banked a little bit of profit, right? So reduced the loss. Let's see if it will hit this stop, how big the lot size will be. Okay guys, so watch out. We just hit another stop. It's open the new trade with 0.14, and let's see, it's has moved the trailing already, so you can see it's moving trailing, so it will possibly once again try to bank a little bit of profit. So that's what it did, and the loss reduced, and the target is slightly bigger again, 893, but take profit is closer, and it's continue with the sell once again. So we're not touching anything, we just wait and see how many times. You see it's already had 8 attempts, and let's just see how many attempts it can do, because that's when you can get, you see we had the trade was on the 5th of October, now you see it shows the 14th of October, and we still can't get out from the trade because not much of the movements on the market, but eventually we should still get out from it. And you will see when we get out with what lot size it's going to be. Once again, it had another banked a little bit profit. You see we had about $40 loss, now it's back to about 27 loss, but you see the target is still, it wants to make now $9.14. So you see how it's increased. It was $8 about, now it's 9. So that's what I'm saying. If you don't want, for example, take profit to grow, you just want to try to cover the loss, then you just press the button, cover the loss. And if you don't want to increase the target, then don't use that 0.03, which we'll have in there, right? So increase of the profit. So you see it's turning around now. It's only had 258 points to cover last time, but you see it's decided to go back, so we can see what kind of if it will hit, what lot size again is going to be. Okay, so guys, you see we are nearly there. You see it's touching it. That's why I'm saying you really need to keep an eye on it, and maybe in a situation like this, you might would want to get out manually. You saw, because it was the slipperage, it didn't get us out. But now, finally, it's finished the recovery. So you see, guys, so it took about 10 days, so from 5th of October, 15th of October now, and it took a while, didn't it? But we came out from the trade. So let's just see the results. Now you can see in here, that's what we had, original $8, then it's banked 453, then it had a loss, then the lot size 0.05, then I had another loss, the lot size increased to 0.09, it had a little bit of banked a bit of a profit, then banked another profit, then had a loss, then increased the lot size to 0.14, banked a bit of profit, banked again, and again, and eventually hit the take profit, and so we end up with $9.37 originally wanted to make. So that's guys, a very good example of how this recovery system works, and that's why I'm saying, you see, if you just like leave it automatically running, it might take a while. When you saw that if you keep an eye on it, maybe at some point when you have the other trades, you wanted to get out from it a little bit earlier, maybe just take a small loss, cover just a little bit of it. So, but that's how the point of the strategy. So it's built a little bit of the profit. You saw slightly was building up and still come out with profit 937. But you can see how the lot size are growing. So that's what I'm saying and warning you guys about this recovery. That's the danger of the recovery system. But like I'm saying, it's any system you're using, you of course probability, you have so many losing trades and you're thinking so many winning trades you're going to make. Some of them will be with the same lot size, it takes longer to recover, and how big the market movements you wait and expecting, which pair it is. So you see, that's the basics of the strategy, and that's why when you're asking what kind of account size it should be, I can't tell you, because you can see the results, how the lot size can go. On a very, very small account, you really can't apply this. On the small accounts, I more prefer to use locking system, but locking is also very hard to get out from. There is a way, but not easy. So that's why it's all up to you when you are actually trying it and see the settings and what it does, how it does. Then you understand what you need, what size of account, money management. Let's see, you can keep, if you get in a bad trade, you don't want to get into more trades, like an examples I'm making to you right now. Because if you need to recover, it's a big account. It's not a problem if you have few trades running and then, okay, lot size growing, not dramatically, but plus minus, it's okay. So, but if it's a very small account, you need to be careful. So guys, I think the next setting we're going to do in the other video, because otherwise the video is going to be huge and you definitely probably want to see how the other settings working, and we can again see and compare them. So I'll see you in my next video. So happy trading everyone, and bye for now.